Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial where I will going to show you how you can create the Power BI Sankey chart, which is also the custom or the advanced chart within the Power BI. So this Sankey chart reveals a lot of interesting information and I will show you in a minute how you can create and interpret it. And before that, just a quick information that all the Power BI videos is present in the sheet, where you can search any of the previously created video along with their respective link where you can jump directly to that video. This list is present within the description section along with another list where all the video other than Power BI, if you see Tableau or Click, you need to access. That list is present in the form of the Google Data Studio report, which you can do the search and find the videos of your interest. Alright, now let's move on to the Power BI Sankey chart. Alright, so here we are within Power BI, and to create this chart you need to have an access to the Get More visuals, which you can access only with your official email ID or the email ID which is other than the normal providers like the Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo. These common IDs won't work to register with the Get More visuals. You have to use either your official email ID or some other email ID which does not have these common domains, and you can then go ahead and register. And when you click on the Get More visual, it will going to take a couple of seconds to show you this window where you can do the search. So far we have covered many different charts like the bullet or the word cloud, and today what we want is the Sankey. So when I click Sankey and click here on search, we have two options. So I will going to choose this one which has the tick mark. That means this visual is certified by Power BI. So once you click on that, you will see that this is the visualization created by the Microsoft Corporation. And here is a quick glimpse of this. Down there you will see a description where it shows that with Sankey you can clearly find the sources and destination and steps in between and how the stuff flows across them. So an interesting visualization which otherwise will going to take a lot of different calculations. If you look at the other tools, for example Tableau and all, you have to do you have to specify multiple calculation to achieve this. But here the good part is that this is present as the custom visualization which you can just click on add. Since I have already added it, I will not going to do that again. But if you see this visualization Sankey 2.1.3 is my current visual, which if I click over here, you will see the visualization is present here. We need to do some configuration as to source, destination labels, source labels, and weight. So what do I want? Let's say for example source, let's say what we have is the region. And maybe for the destination, we want to understand how various product subcategories are being sold in various different regions. So what I'll do is I'll take the product subcategory as a destination, and if you will see, this is sort of a very complex visualization which is being created right now. So if I click over here on Northwest, you will see that multiple lines are being driven or drawn with respect to the multiple product subcategories that we have. All right. So what we want to do next is define the weights. So for example, the weight option here, I will going to choose the sales, and this will going to help us interpret that if the weight of the line, for example this line, the weight is pretty high and that is based on the sale. So for example, if I just click over here, you will see that various different products are being sold in this particular territory, whereas this product office machine is being the highest one because it has the highest weight. Now this is one way of looking at the information where you can click on the region and that will show the connected dots with respect to the multiple product categories. However, you can click on a particular product category over here. For example, if I'm interested in looking at in which regions office machines are being sold and with respect to the volume of the sales or the sales value, so I'll click here and you will see very clearly that west is the region in which highest sales is coming, followed by the second one is here prior, and so on and so forth for the rest of the one. So this becomes really interesting because in just few clicks you are able to draw this complex visualization. And not only that, interpretation is very easy because of the weights which are being assigned over here. Apart from this, what you have is a couple of formatting options, but very straightforward and in some of the advanced use case. So if I just go into the formatting, you have the option of enabling or disabling the data labels, which are here. You have the data ink ratio or the data ink labels, which is you can enable or disable. I would not recommend, as you could see that there are like a lot of labels which are present here. And then you have the links. You can specify the coloring for each link. Over here, a lot of links which has been established between these two categories is present over here. You can define other than what by default present over here. Then you have some scale settings. There is an option of providing the minimum optimal height of the node or log scale, which I recommend to use it only in a spatial scenario where there is a lot of deviation in terms of high or low values. Other than that, you have the cycles displaying, which is especially in case of whether we want to show the duplicate nodes or draw backwarding. In scenarios like those, we can use this, but I'll just recommend that you leave it blank. Other than that, what you see is the general formatting option for title, for the background, and so on and so forth for this particular visualization. But that's very quickly about how this visualization really works. And maybe another very quickly, I can just show you that you have the source, you have the destination. You can change the source maybe with something else. Maybe you want to look at the customer segment, so I'll just replace the region with the customer segment, and very easily you are now able to draw a different conclusion altogether. So this visualization is very useful in scenarios where there is some sort of a relationship you want to establish, and there is an impactful relationship you want to show to your end user, which otherwise with the help of the tables or with the bars is not very clear or evident. And based on the experimentation that you are doing with multiple charts, if this chart is making sense to show the relationship as well as comparison with other categories, then this will go in a long way to understand the relationship between two data points in comparison with the other data points. So this is very quickly about how you can create this Sankey chart very easily within Power BI and amaze your users. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video with a new topic. Hello there, and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial where I will show you how you can create the Sunburst chart within Power BI. So Sunburst chart, as the name suggests, is in the shape of the sun, and it helps look at the comparison of multiple category with respect to the main category in a sort of a circle. Also, it shows the contribution ratio of each category. So I'll show you in a minute about how you can create and interpret all of this. And before that, just a quick information if you are new to my channel, that this sheet where I have maintained all the Power BI tutorial is present in the description, so you can access it very easily and search and jump to a tutorial based on the link which is present and its respective title. Along with that, another report you will find of the Google Data Studio, where not only the Power BI but all the other technology video like the Tableau or the Click related video is present, where you can search in that report and access it to meet your learning needs. Alright, so let's go ahead and see now the Sunburst chart. Alright, so here we are within the Power BI, and what I'll do is go inside this Get More Visuals, which you can access it with the help of only your official email ID, but your personal email IDs will not work if you'll try to register. So personal email IDs like the providers like your Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, things, people provider like those will not going to work here. You need some custom domain email ID, either your official or maybe via some other website if you have some relationship or some way to get the email ID from them. You can get register and get this access to this advanced chart. So what I need is the Sunburst chart. So I am going to search the Sunburst. So if you see, you have two Sunburst charts. Both are having the tick mark. That means both are certified by the Power BI. But this is clearly the Sunburst chart by the MAQ software, having a different look and feel. And you have this chart which is having the look and feel of Power BI, as you could see from the branding of colors. So if I go inside, you will see that this particular chart is from the Microsoft Corporation. That means it is safe to use, and right now the version that I'm using is 2.0.1.0 and it was released in 21st of March 2017. Okay, so there is a quick description. As I told you at the start, it is in the shape of a circle and it has like multiple categories that we can see. Okay, so let's click on add, and once I click on add, it will show you this message that importing of the custom visual is successful. So we'll click OK, and here is my Sunburst chart. And now the blank Sunburst chart or the blank template of Power BI is present. I need to provide the groups. So what I'm going to provide is the product category, because I have the hierarchy of product category, which is product category, product subcategory, product names, all that. I have this information, so it's meaningful to get this. So I'll provide product category. For values, what I'll show is the sales. So this is the highest level of information, and right now this is the donut chart, a donut chart which we can easily create it from the inbuilt calculate or inbuilt visualization comes with the Power BI. But the difference start coming when we add the product subcategory over here below to the product category. So now if you see, if I just expand this chart, you will see that we have these office supplies and their respective categories. So since the category's name is big, that's why they have been reduced. But if you hover your mouse over to any of the category, what you see is the value over here. So if I click on any of the category, what you basically see is the weight in the entire category, and this basically indicates the 7.18% in the overall categories that we have in the outer circle. So for example, if I want to understand the bookcases, then this is the 5.52% when it comes to the outer category. So outer category is basically 100%. So if I just click over here on the chairs, it is relatively big. So what you can see is 11.83% is coming. Similarly, if I come inside office supplies, what it indicates when I click on office supply is the entire section, which is 25.18%. So that's the contribution office supply is making. Similarly, if I click on the technology, since it is a bigger area, it shows 40.09% as the contribution that technology is making in overall sales. Now we can make it more nesting. Over here, for example, we have product name, but that will be very clumsy. However, what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and do that. And once I'll do, it will going to take some time to process this information. Right now, what it shows you is either probably the categories are really high. That's why it is not able to show. Oh, there you go. Too many values. All right, so that was something issue I was hoping that it will give us, because there are like 100,000, not thousands, I would say maybe 200 or 300 different products, and it becomes really challenging for this Sunburst chart to show you that information. So alternatively, what I can show you is the region information. So if I just take the region information here, again there are a lot of regions, but still you are able to get it displayed very easily here. So over here we have now the Sunburst chart, which I leave it up to you how much dense you want to go. As you can see right now, we are so dense in this, but this is very useful when you have multiple categories and you want to show the actual visual contribution along with the help of the click the actual contribution that they are making, so that you have sort of a KPI sort of a visualization along with a fancy looking visualization in the form of the Sunburst. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video. Hello there, and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, how to create histogram within Power BI. So histogram is the statistical chart which helps us understand the frequency or the data distribution when there is a large quantity of information or the large amount of information. This helps us look at the distribution of data for better understanding of how the data is, whether there are a lot of high values, low values, normally distributed. Yeah, you may have heard this term like normally distributed, and histogram basically helps us look at that information. Okay, so what do we want? So we're going to create this histogram using the custom charts. And just before that, a quick information: if you are new to my videos, then this sheet is present in the description where all the videos related to the Power BI is mentioned, along with their respective links, so that you can easily search and jump to that video very quickly. Now, apart from this, I have also posted a Google Data Studio report which has more than 800 videos in that, which is inclusive of technology like W or the click related tutorial, which you can search, and if you are interested in that area, you can learn it. Alright, so let's go to the Power BI and create it. Alright, so here we are within the Power BI, and the histogram will be present here in the Get More Visual as the ready-made chart. So we'll click on Get More Visual. If this is not coming for you or asking you to log in, then you may need to log in using your official email ID. Yeah, and that means any email ID that is other than like your Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, these common providers, right? These are all general email IDs, but Power BI accepts only official or the custom domain email ID for access of this chart. So what I'm going to do is provide histogram as a search value, and this is the histogram, and you will see there are quite a few values that is related to the histogram. So I will going to click on the first one because I know this is from Microsoft Corporation, as you could see. However, it has got only 2 stars because it has very less features as compared to its competitors. But nevertheless, we're going to go and click on add. Once you click on add, the histogram like icon will present over here. So since I've already added it, I will just go and click on the histogram 2.1.1. That's the histogram version that I am using, and I'll just expand that. And it picks up only 2 values. One is the actual value and one is the frequency. However, frequency in certain cases is optional. So for example, if I just put sales over here, you will see that it has by default picked up the frequency where the sales are high. That means the range between 0 to 4.95k, there are 7,300 sales that has been made. Similarly, for range 4.95 to 9.9, the 536 sales were made. So by default, it has picked up the frequency. So that's why I mentioned that it is optional in many cases. So once I go into the format, I have the flexibility to increase the bin sizes, or what I mean is the number of bins I can increase. By default, it will going to pick up based on the range of the data. So it picks up the default bin number of bins. However, I can go into the general and provide, let's say I want 100 bins, right? So now if you will see, the shape has completely changed, but it has messed up the chart a little bit because down there it's very difficult to read what bin it is until we just go here and look at, okay, from 0.00k to 0.89k, this is 5,000 sales were made. And this basically indicates that a lot of sales that we are making is the low frequency or low value sales over here, because that's the actual sales value amount when you look at the range, and the frequency is how many sales that you have made. So this looks like a very skewed chart where it is skewed towards the lower sales value and very few values are present at the higher end. So right now we are not able to see anything because we have increased the bin size. But this basically indicates that a lot of sales are on the lower end of the chart, and that basically helps us look at the distribution or where the focus of most of the sales have been or is basically present for the company. So that's very quickly about how you can create histogram, the way you can interpret it, and the useful information that it gives us looking at the distribution of data. And that's about it, and I'll meet you in the new video with a new topic. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial where I will start the discussion about buttons. Buttons are interactive feature within Power BI, and as the name suggests, it is a button which gives your application or your report a good feeling, as well as you have a lot of flexibility what you can do with the button. For example, in this video I will going to show you about the page navigation button, which you can specify at the top of the page and move back and forth among multiple pages that you have. So we'll see what they are and how you can set up, and then in a couple of more future videos like Power BI buttons with the bookmark, which I will do next, you will see how you can use the bookmark along with the buttons. So this you will see in the first video, the page navigation button. But before I move ahead, just a quick information that this sheet where all the Power BI related tutorials are present, you can access it within the description. Here you can search any particular tutorial that you are looking for, and its respective link is present here so that you can jump directly onto it. Along with that, if you want to search across my channel, what I have created is the Data Studio report. So Data Studio is a topic which I took up earlier, and this is the report I created where you can come here in the video title, uncheck this and search for any video. For example, you are looking for something related to Tableau. So you go ahead and search for Tableau, and all of the Tableau related tutorial will be coming. You can just click over here and all the Tableau related tutorial will come over here in a couple of seconds. So this is a quick information I wanted to give. If you are looking for any specific tutorial or all the tutorial for my video, you can get using these two links, which is data.studio.google for all the videos, and this is spreadsheet for any specific tutorial related to the Power BI. Okay, so now let me go ahead and create the buttons. So the first buttons we will going to create at the page navigation button. All right, so here I am into the Power BI, and this is the report which I am using it from its cloud version. As you can see, I'm using app.powerbi.com. So what will I do is here at the top I have buttons. Now you may be having the access to the Power BI desktop. In desktop also the buttons are present from the menu bar, which you can look. I think it is present in the design menu if I'm not wrong, but you can look for the buttons option over there. So in the button we have the left arrow and the right arrow. So left arrow looks for the previous page and right arrow looks for the next page. So as we are on the very first page, we will not be having any left arrow over here, or it will not be doing anything since there is no page prior to opportunity overview. So what we are going to have is the right arrow. So I'll come over here on the buttons and click on the right arrow. Once the right arrow is present, what you are seeing that we have lot of properties that we can enable. So very first property which I want to show you and useful is the action property. So I'll enable that, and on the action you can see there are a couple of options like back, bookmark, page and all that. So I will just keep this as it is because this is something we will going to move forward to enable this. So I have enabled the action around that, and the next tab I will going to click is the detail. So in the detail tab, if you will see, I have one button already created. So what I'll do is I'll just delete this and come over here and remove it. And again, from the buttons, I will click on the left arrow. So nothing I've done, simply come here buttons and clicked on the left arrow, And down there in the action, I will enable the action and it will be back action. All right. So here, this you will see move to the next page. This is something move to the last page. So what you can do is you can even enable the text. So I have just selected this. Here button text property is present. So if I'll just hide this and expand this little bit, you will see that button text, enable the button text, and what we can do is we can mention previous page. Okay, and maybe need to expand this little bit. All right, so now the previous page is coming, which is helpful for the user. All right, so now let's go into the reading view. That means the view mode. So we'll click on reading view, save this, and it will take just a couple of seconds to give us the report. All right, so now I have it over here, and it was probably some network connection which I was facing issue. So now I'm in a reading mode, and if I click it over here, I will move to the next report, which is opportunity analysis. And if I click it over here on this button, I move to the previous page. So this way you can have the buttons. So now if you see, along with the opportunity overview, we have detail. And if we go into the edit mode over here, we have this tooltip, which is not viewed, but let's say we have one more tab, and suppose we create one more chart. For example, we have region, and let's say we have the some value, for example opportunity amount. Okay, so page 1. So now if this is something I want to create one more button, because this is a middle page, I can go back, I can move forward. So I'll come over here and click on the right arrow, right, and enable the action. From here, just enable the action, that is it. And I can now again go into the reading view to save this, and now I have it this. So this time, as you can see, it did not take much time because now it's not facing those network issue. So if I click over here, it will show me the next page, which is the new page I created. So that's very quickly about how you can create the buttons. The button has a lot of properties, as you could see. So for example, this button, if you remember, we enabled the text, but I guess we could not save it because of that network issue. So we can write something like next page. We can change its property like font color. We can remove the padding, alignment, text size. Similarly, if we want something like fill, if we want to fill this, then what color, what we want. So for example, we want to keep it like gray, similar to this one, little bit dark gray probably. Yeah, this one. So now it looks like this button is part of the page. So all of this formatting is something we can do, but the most important point is this action, which I wanted to let you know. Along with that, all the other thing, like if you want to give any title, or if you want to give button text, change the color. Also in the general, you want to change the position manually, then you can do that. So that's very quickly about how you can create the buttons, and very specifically the left arrow and the right arrow, and how they will configure. So if you will have the back button over here, it will not going to work because this is the first page. Similarly, for page 1, if you have the forward button or this right arrow, it will not work because it does not have the next page. So keep in mind whenever you are designing it as to whether you are on the first page or on the last page, but the middle page, like for example detail, can have both these buttons. So that's very quickly about button, how to configure them and what to consider when you are configuring them and get the most output. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video with a new topic. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial. And in this tutorial, I will show you again about the page navigation button. So if you remember yesterday, we have talked about, or we have seen how you can create the page navigation button, which is sequential in nature. That means from one page to next page, how you can move. But in today's video, I will just show you a quick information about how you can jump to any page directly. So let's go ahead and see that. And before I move ahead, quick information that this sheet link is present in the description. That means if you want to search any Power BI video, then you can come to this sheet and search it and jump or go directly to that video using this link. Now I have one more report link also pasted in the description, which is the Google Data Studio report, where there also you can search not only just Power BI but all the videos across my channel. That means I have videos related to Tableau or Click, Python and all. You can go ahead and search in that Data Studio report. So remember, this is a Google spreadsheet, and that is a the Google Data Studio report. All right. So now let's go into the Power BI. All right. So here I am into the Power BI. Let me expand this. Okay. So this is the button we created yesterday. And this is something, if I click here, it will move to the next page. This is what we created. So this was the first page. That's why we have the forward button. And on the detail page, we have the back button and the forward button. And finally, the page 1 is where we have the last, which is the last page. All right. So this is a sequential. That means step by step you are moving. So what if I want to move directly to, let's say, page 1, or if I have, let's say, 10 different pages, I want user to jump to any page based on the page name or the page caption that I have given. Also, sometimes you must have seen that at the very first, so if you see, this is like the page 2, and we can call it by double clicking introduction. And here you may have like multiple buttons, which is indicating what are the different reports that you have. So for example, if I just create this maybe left arrow, or I can also create a blank button. So, but I just want to show you with this left arrow or the right arrow, and then that will be easy for you to understand how to move ahead. Okay, so this is the arrow, and I want this arrow to jump directly to page 1 or detail or opportunity overview. So what do I need to do? Well, in that case, I'll just click this, and over here, I'll go into the field, the format button, and here we can enable first of all the text just to indicate where we are moving. So details. All right, and then in the action we have this button. We need to first enable the action, and we will say page navigation from the type, and then we will select the destination. Here it will give us the flexibility what page we want to move. So for example, I want to move to, let's say, page 1, right, or maybe details, because that's the name I have put it over here. So if I just expand it, this is the details page. Let's just create one more button. I can create any button, maybe right arrow this time. I mean, you can create blank button as well. I'm just informing you about the page navigation options that we have. And let's give it the button text as the page 1. So we'll say page 1. And then down there, we will enable the action. And in the action, we will say page navigation. And in the page navigation, we will just say page 1. So whatever the name of the page is, we will just specify this. Right? Now let's go into the reading layout. So we'll save this. And it will going to take a couple of seconds just to reach that. And here we go. So now this is the page 1. This is the details. So I'll click on detail. I am here on the details page. If I go back to the introduction, I go to page 1, I have the page 1. That means on the introduction page, you can have a small text about what this report is all about and how you can access the different sections of the page using the buttons that is being provided. All right. Now let's come into the edit mode. So here, one more interesting thing that I want to tell you is the icon, because this icon does not make a lot of sense, right? So over here, we can enable the icon as it is already enabled since we are using the left or right arrow. And you will see that we have this default state, and what we have is the left arrow, right arrow, back, reset, help, information, Q&A, bookmark, or blank. So we can choose just blank, and this is nothing but a simple blank button which you can create from here as well. And similarly, if you don't want any image or shape, you can simply say blank. So two ways, either you can have the blank button from here or you can click directly over there. But the main property to tackle this is the type. What do we want to do this? So we want page navigation because we want to allow user to jump to any page that we want. So that's very quickly about if you don't want sequential navigation that I showed you in the previous video, or but you want to allow the user to move to any page, then this is the option for you using the buttons that you have it within the Power BI. Now this is something not very great looking, so I'll show you some of the options and properties in the next video as to how you can format your buttons, which will help you to take your button to a next level. Well, with that, I'll meet in the next video. Hello there and welcome to the new video in which I will going to talk about the Power BI buttons, how you can improve the look and feel of the Power BI button and make them more interactive, more like app or website, where you must have seen the buttons are very interactive in nature. That means when you hover your mouse over to the button, there is a different feel. If you click on them, there is a different feel. So what are the properties that you can utilize within Power BI to make your button interactive? So let's go ahead and see that. And before I show you, a quick information that this sheet, which is a Google spreadsheet, is present in the description. That means you can come over here and search any video which I have posted so far related to the Power BI. You can search those and jump directly to those videos using this link which is provided here. Now I have one more report, which is the Do Data Studio report, and here is this report where you can access all of my videos, whether it is related to Click, Power BI, Tableau, Python, anything which I have posted. You can search it from here in the Power BI. Make sure you uncheck this and then search the video. For example, you want to look something related to the Python. All the Python videos have come. Just check that and you will have all the videos related to the Python, the video link, and you can jump directly to that particular video link. So these are the two sheet reports that I have. This report, Data Studio, for all the videos, and this spreadsheet is just where I am capturing only the Power BI related stuff. All right, let's move ahead to the topic. Okay, so here we are within Power BI, and if you remember from the previous video, what we have created is two buttons that with the help of these buttons, we can jump directly to the details, which is here, and the page one, which is here. What I shared is basically the idea about how you can configure your buttons, which is these, using the action, page navigation, and choose on which page you want to jump. All right. But this looks like a very simple button and does not have a lot of interactivity or making your application cool. So what can we do to make it more cool or more interactive? Well, let's select this. And over here, if you see, we have a couple of options over here related to the each of the buttons that we have. Now let's see first of all the button text. So in button text, we have this default state. That means the original state, how the button should look like. Now we have on hover event, on press event, and disabled event. So what should happen when you hover your mouse over to the button? So we have this button selected, and let's click on hover. And button text, we can change the button text from here based on the event on hover. So in details, we will say go to details page. Okay, so now once I hover my mouse over, now you can see go to detail page. So that is something more interactive for the user. So if I just click it over here and go to the button text, we can even change the color. For example, on default state, let's say my color is this, which is light bluish. Even this color is here. So let's select this, but this is a text color. So we may have to change the fill color as well. So maybe I'll change the fill color. I'll enable the fill color for just to make sure that we are in the same stage. So default state is here. Default state is here for fill, and I will just change this to black or dark gray. So now you see details. So after that, on hover, what should be the stage? Well, on hover, let's say I want to make it more darker, and here button text on hover, what we want is slightly more darker, like this one. So now if you see, the button is not very much visible. I'll just change the text color maybe from this to something white, right? Now go to details page is something which is appearing properly, and down here we can change the color what we want based on the fill. So what I chose is the black. Let me just see. Yeah. Now third property is, what do we have is on press. On press, what color we want. Let's say we want white color itself, but on the fill section on press, what do we want is maybe, let's say, a different color altogether, green. That means you have pressed this button. So if I click it, you will see that green button is coming, right? So this is basically one way by which you can utilize these events, which is default, on hover, and on press. These properties are present in these different options like button text, fill, even in the outline. If you will see, if you want any outline, so for example on hover we want the more outline, so maybe we will just try to increase it and give it, I don't know, some color. Okay, so now you see the red color is coming, which is quite weighty, having a quite lot of weight. So this is something by which you can based on the needs, you can change the look and feel of your button based on the different properties which is given over here, which is in the fill, outline, and you can even check icon. You have these different states. So wherever these states are present, just make sure that wherever you are changing, that means button text, icon, outline, fill, all the properties are following the same state. That means if you have some specific requirement in the default state, then all should follow that default state. A different requirement in the on hover, that means look and feel, the color, the text, the font size and everything, it should follow that state, because it's very easy to mix up the things. For example, you are doing something in the default state here, but in the fill you have you actually want to do it into a default state, but maybe by mistake you can change the state and change the property, and the button is not coming as expected. So keeping in mind that whatever properties we want to set is we are setting based on the selection of the state and then moving ahead. So that's very quickly I wanted to show how you can format your button so that they look more like an app or a website where they are changing the text, they are changing the color based on your hovering the mouse or you are clicking it over there. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video with the new topic.
Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial video. And in this tutorial video, I will show you the Power BI DAX function sum. So Power BI DAX function sum is helpful in creating the totals for your visualization. And for example, we have a scenario over here where we have the product subcategory and their related custom fields like what is the order count, what is the order row count, what are the just the corporate orders out of this total count is something what we have created earlier. Now we want to have a totally unrelated field as a total, which is total sales. So in scenarios like this, where you want to create the custom totals in a table based on your business need, because business wants to see the different measures whether related or not related altogether, into a one single table. So how you can create it is by using the text function. And before I move ahead, just a quick information that all the videos of Power BI and Power BI is present in the description as a link, and you can access all of the Power BI video. You can jump directly to that because along with the video title link is present. Also, if you want to access all of my video of my channel, then a Google Data Studio report is present which is an interactive report. There you can filter either the Python or the Tableau or any video and get the access. Alright, so now let's move ahead to how we can create the Power BI text function sum. Alright, so what do we have is basically new measure over here. So we are under home and the new measure. If I click over here, it will give me a screen or this formula bar which will allow me to add the total. So first thing is we need to provide the sum, the name of the measure. So what we will do is total underscore sales, right? So here we can clearly see whenever we are looking up any measure which will be present over here. So another thing is measure will always be present with this sort of a calculator sign so that you can clearly see what is a measure or a custom measure as compared to what is a normal measure, which is sigma. So sigma is the sign of a measure which you have imported via the script or via the data using the Power BI script. Alright, so total underscore sales, and I will use a very simple sum function. As you can see, sum. What it does is it adds all the numbers in a column. So I press tab and it will open the parenthesis as soon as I enter the tab. And what I need to start writing is basically the sales. And as I enter SAL, the IntelliSense has given me the name of the field, and I will press tab to get the field and close this. So once I close this, I need to check this sign, which is this one. I clicked over here and now the total sales is created and it should reflect over here. If I go down, because it is sorted alphabetically, so after S you get T, and that's why total sales is coming over here. Now what we will do is we will add it over here. So with this I just add it over here, right? So now along with the other tables that I am having, like for example order count, the order rows count, the corporate orders, if my business user is trying to see what are the total sales that we have got, then we can use this sum function, and along with the other measures which is custom in nature, I am getting the custom total sales as well for my end user. And if I apply any filter, for example the consumer, the values will be updated accordingly, or corporate, the value is changed, the home office, sorry, I'll just click on home office, then the value will change. So this is one scenario in which you can use. Another scenario can be, for example, if you want to create a new column altogether, right? So in that case also, so for example here, let's say just assume that you have one column which is present over here and another is, let's say, the total sales. Then you want to divide those columns, multiply those columns. In that scenario also you can basically utilize this total sales as well. Also when you will create the KPI from here, so for example this one, the card, and you add this field total sales, right? You just get the 429.65 as total sales. And I recommend that instead of using this sales, which will produce the similar result, you use the total sales, right? Why? Because whenever if a change is required in the future, let's say you have used total sales at 10 different places, right? Then if you are just using this sales, you will have to replace it at 10 different places or in 10 different visualization. But if you are making any change, if you are using this total sales, which is a custom field in which you can apply any calculation or anything, you will just have to change the formula for this, and all the changes will be reflected everywhere. So think it more like a variable that you are using at multiple places, so that you don't have to do that work for 10 different locations, and in just one location you will be done with your change. So that will be an optimized performance for you. Also in future, if you want to, let's say, rename this, you can come back here and you have the option of renaming, you have the option of hiding, or you have option here again to create a new measure which is totally unrelated. But this is something what you can basically apply when you are doing it. Also, if you want to edit it, let's say tomorrow if you want to go ahead and apply some changes like I was suggesting, so you will just click it over here and the formula will be coming over here. And let's say you just want to apply the 20% discount, so you will do multiply 0.2 or 0.2, then this will be changed accordingly. Alright, so something is I'm messing up, but basically the idea is that you will going to change the formula which is coming over here by either adding more values, multiplying it, or dividing it. So that way you will going to get the total sales for here. And similarly, as an exercise, what you can do, so data access or the data set is present over here within the description. You can get it. And what you can do is you can create two different measures. One is the profit, the total profit that you are having on the given for the given subcategory. So along with total sales, you are going to have the total profit. And then what you can do is you can also get, let's say, the quantity, the total quantity that you are having. So now I have created sales, but as an exercise, what you do, create total profit and create total quantity, and our table will be completed. So that's about it, what I wanted to show you about the Power BI DAX function sum, and I'll meet you in the next video with the new topic. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial video. And in this tutorial video, I will show you how you can use the divide function within the Power BI. So Power BI divide function is helpful in scenarios whenever we want to divide one value by another. And that's a very common scenario because for, let's say, the ratio calculation or finding various different measures, you need to divide the one value by another for finding the percentages, averages, and things like those. So divide is a very useful function that you will going to use a lot whenever you are producing any report or dashboard. And I want to show you how you can produce the result out of the divide function, and as well as explain its additional feature which is helpful in case you find an errors. Alright, so before that, just a quick information that I have 3 links within the description. First is the dataset link. Second is your link of all the Power BI tutorials within a spreadsheet where a title and the respective link is given, so that if you want to look at a specific video, you can quickly search instead of searching here on the YouTube, which is quite difficult. And the third link is basically another report, interactive report, which is the Google Data Studio report. If you want to search for tutorials across my channels, I have more than 900 videos right now, so searching for anything specific topic like Tableau, Click, Google Data Studio, Python, you will find it over there. Alright, so now let's go ahead and create or utilize the divide function. Alright, so what do we want to do? So over here in the previous videos, we have created the total sales using this sum function. And what I have requested or what I have suggested you as an homework is the total profit, right? I'm sure that you must have created it because it's pretty straightforward and similar to the total sales. Now, what we want to look at is the profit ratio, right? So what does it mean? So profit ratio is right now on 32,000, I'm making a profit of 8,400. For 2,762, I'm making a profit of 1128. Similarly for 49,000, 49,000, yeah, 419, I'm making a profit of 540. So from figures, you can only make an assumption up to a certain extent. But if a ratio or a profit ratio is there, then you can clearly see for which particular subcategory you are having the highest profit. Irrespective of how much sales or profit it is coming, the percentage gives a pretty clear picture instead of the absolute values. Alright, so how we can do that? Well, for that we will go to new measure. So new measure, and then we will say, give it a name, profit ratio. After profit ratio equals to divide, and we will have numerator which will be total profit. So total profit and total sales is basically two things. So what we want first is the total sales divided by total profit. So you will not use the forward slash or the divide sign, but you will going to use total sales, comma, now the denominator, which is the total profit, right? And the important here is the alternate result. So alternate result is basically useful in scenarios if you have zeros in a denominator. What happens if you have a zero as a denominator? You will get an infinity as an output, or in some programming language you have, for example in Excel, you have divide by zero error. So to reduce that, what you can specify any alternate result. If you will not specify, it will give you blank. So I will say 0, right? Oops, I will just come here at the start. All right, and then we will going to click OK. So once we are here, our profit ratio measure is calculated or is created. Now I need to select this table, and once the table is selected, what you have is the profit ratio over here, right? And yeah, so I did one mistake. Earlier I was doing it correctly. It should be profit by sales. I don't know why I did that. So this will be total profit, and then we will specify the total sales. I just made it opposite. If I click OK, you will see then the right ratio. So this divided by this gives you 0.26. That means your profit ratio is 26%. So where is the highest? Here. You have 41%. For 2762 sales, you are making a profit of 1128. So that's why it is 41% is the second highest. I think the first one is here, 45%, and then the 42%. So clearly you are now able to understand with the help of the profit ratio is for those subcategories where you are making the highest profit as compared to the lowest profit. So for example, here for the machines, you are just making a 1% of profit. For 49,000, close to 50,000 of sales, you are making a 500 rupees or $500 profit. So that means it's just 1%. So definitely something worth looking at, maybe by management, is this really worth going towards or not, as compared to where you are having 45% profit, 42% profit, or 41% profit. So this basically calculation makes it actionable, in actionable metric for you if you are showing it in a dashboard or visualization. And that's something all the time management is coming back to you and asking it, create this new calculation or create this new measure, because it is driving some action and insights for them. So that's very quickly how you can create the divide. So if you want to, let's say sometime in future you want to edit it, you just need to click it over here and the formula screen will come where you can go ahead and make the changes. Similarly, if you want to rename this profit ratio, what you can do is you can click on these three ellipses which is coming, and then click on rename, delete, or hide if you want to just hide it. So that's very quickly I wanted to show you how you can create the profit ratio over here. Now what you can do is probably you can take two homework. One is you create quantity by sale. So total sales divided by the quantity. What you may need to create is the total quantity as a measure first, and then divide total sales by quantity and then total profit by quantity, just so that you can practice this. But this is a very helpful function, and I would suggest instead of using that / you use this, because here you have the additional feature of dividing by 0. If it happens, then what should we do? I specified 0, you can specify whatever you want, and you will get the right output. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video with a new topic. Hello there, and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial video. And in this tutorial video, I will show you how you can create or how you can find the minimum values for each of your categories. So finding minimum values is something which most of the time we get as an query. For example, what are those products which has minimum quantity? What are those products which has minimum sales, or the minimum value of the sales? And in that case, you may need to utilize the Power BI DAX function min, min, to basically find these values, which will give what value, let's say what is the minimum sales value you have for each of the category that is being recorded for a given order, right? So here in this video, I will show you how you can quickly identify that and execute. And before that, a quick information that within description I have 3 links, one for this data set. Second link is the Google Sheet of Power BI tutorial, where a title and the link is present so that you can quickly search instead of searching on YouTube or on my channel playlist, so that you can see the video whatever you want very quickly. And the third link is the Google Data Studio report link, which is basically the collection of all the 900 plus videos that I have on my channel. And you can search for topics like Tableau, you can search for the topics like Click, and so on and so forth. So that's something I have it for you, and you can identify those easily. So that's about it. And now let's move ahead and create the minimum sales value that is being recorded for these particular subcategories. All right, for that we will going to click on new measure. Once we click on it, we need to provide the measure name, and we will say minimum, maybe recorded sale. So whatever is meaningful to you, minimum sale, minimum recorded sale, or minimum sale order, something like you can use that as well. So whatever is meaningful to you and your user, so that maybe 1 month down the line, 3 months down the line, you can easily see what you have done or why you have created it. And then we will going to use the min function, and min function is basically it takes like the value 1, 2, 3, but what we will going to provide is a field value which is sales. So if I say sales, it will give you this sample order sales. And if I close this, then my function definition or whatever I need to provide for the function is completed. So once I'm done, I will click on this right sign to make sure it is executing, and it is available somewhere here, minimum recorded sale. So now what I will do is I will add the minimum recorded sale to this particular table. So this is something it is selected, and their respective fields are here. So I will just going to go and add the field over here. Now the field is added, and we can clearly see the minimum recorded sale for, let's say, accessories. You have $0.99. Similarly, for copiers, you have $4.79 as the minimum recorded sale, $79 for tables. So this gives you some idea about what are usually the minimum value which a customer is ordering for a given subcategory, right? So this is how very easily you can create. And as in work or as in homework, what you can do is you can find the minimum profit, by creating it using the profit measure and the minimum quantity. So you may have the quantity here, and you will create the minimum function where you will specify the profit and then the quantity and put it in a table just to look at, along with the minimum recorded sale, what is the minimum quantity that is being ordered, what is the minimum profit that is being ordered for this given customer. So that's mainly I wanted to talk about in this video, about how you can identify the minimum value and utilize it in your visualization or table or wherever you want. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video, the new topic.